Hey Ben, intention of this video is to support you in your delegation mastery, which you have brought up. And here is a best practice on the actual flowchart when it comes to the delegation machine so that you have a lot more time and mental freedom. Now, JD most likely will have her own process as well. So these are just suggestions that support you and having only the things on your plate that actually really matter. So what we got here is all your inboxes, right? You're receiving all your inboxes. You have all the notes that are coming at you, right? And you do got so much stuff coming at you, from your internal team communication, the Slacks, the emails, and more importantly, you have so many inboxes to manage across all of this business as well as your other businesses in life, right? You just have a lot. So the question really becomes, how do you process those things through you and into the system? And when people get stuck in the processing of that information, which can be anywhere from 300 to 1,000 points a day, that's where a lot of the mental fatigue and the time starts to get delayed. And to have a system and process for that system and process supports people in freeing up even up to like 45 minutes a day to up to an hour and a half, but more importantly, really frees up that mental energy. So these are best little practices, notes that's happening. So first, you get all your shit, right? It's hitting you all day long. And this is a system that you and JD could learn to come to an agreement with. The first thing that I really ask is, does this really matter to this sprint? And we normally operate in sprints in the next 2 weeks. And to get really discerning on the no so that it doesn't take up the current bandwidth on what you're currently driving forward your sprint on. And if it's a no, it goes into some type of parking lot or snooze folder. I'm not sure how JD might be for her current system and how she's doing that. Maybe she's got a soon, like this month, someday maybe folder, something like that. In my experience, having these folders, one for email and the other one for your projects and task management system right here is where it really all resides. So once again, to get really discerning at this point so that the sprint has all the focus and time and energy, what's happening. And this is locked in because it's reviewed at the end of the sprint review process. Number two, this is where it really comes into play is this actionable? If it's no, you have a support reference material system, fine. But if it takes less than 2 minutes, you're actually going to do it now because that's the best practice. An exception to the rule is you might have 30 things that are going to end up taking 2 minutes. So the game really comes, how do you start to delegate everything into JD's world and other people's world that isn't bringing you a lot of value or things you don't like to do or things that you aren't good at. So this is where your delegation system really comes into play. And more than 95% of it is going to drop into your project and action system tool. It's my understanding that you and JD are using Notion. Awesome. It doesn't matter what you use. Because now that you got your playbook set up, the playbook's already working. You got your Google Drive and Docs and library. Like, that's fine. You just got your calendar. That's fine. This is where the flow from all of the nonsense down into you as the person being happy and goes into the system so that it just flows through you and into it. And then everyone becomes clear on what to do and how often and actually what matters to the sprint. And it will probably become a daily learning process for you and JD to get together to say, these are the inboxes that I dealt with. These are the ongoing improvement notes on how to make sure that the executive assistant is starting to do everything right around here and to consistently improve upon it. It won't be perfect, but by y'all sitting together after JD is complete through all the processing to have those ongoing notes and to minimize the amount of inboxes and notes for you to process to you and for have it flow through you into other people's system. In my experience, this is where so much of the mastery actually is in becoming a Teflon CEO for your business or life. So we can dive into that. I was just thinking about it and hope that supports.